Hello everyone, welcome. My name is MJ Pestridge. Welcome to my first Microsoft product review. And a little disclaimer, to be honest. I record on a 4K monitor. My FLIGHTSIM is on a 4K monitor, but I'm recording down in 1080p, which is obviously standard definition. And the translation to standard definition and high definition, to be honest, there is a difference, and I'm still overcoming that in myself to try and translate high definition to standard definition. So some, like, because of the limited display on a 1080p versus a 4K with its high HDR mode and high definition, ultra high definition, things look a little bit blown out or too dark, and I'm very sorry for that, but I'm still working out the bugs for that. So here we are in Microsoft. We're at Birmingham, and this is the Connie, the Lockheed Constellation L049. This is the Super Constellation, and we're gonna have a look at this puppy. We're gonna take it for a flight in a little bit, but we're gonna explore some of the more, like, have a look at it. You know, let's check this puppy out. Now, first disclaimer straight away. The people who made this, I kind of forget their name off the top of my head. Red Wing, that's it. This is still in early access, so this is not a complete simulation. It's just complete enough for people to be able to use and enjoy in a very basic level. So there is still things ongoing. So this isn't going to be like a full, you know, a review of is this kosher to play with, because it wouldn't be fair, really. This is still in early alpha, so just remember that, you know, things might not work, or it might not be as good as it should, and that's because, again, it's in early alpha. So with that said, let's check it out. I'm going to start off first off by checking out the outside of the plane, like the detail and that, as if we were doing like a walk around on any other plane. So first things first is check out the nose gear, making sure that there are no issues here. To be honest, the modeling on this gear is pretty fantastic. Now, I know Microsoft Flight Simulator looks fantastic anyway, but not all the planes in Microsoft Flight Simulator share the same level of detail. It really depends on the developer of how much, you know, effort is put in. This developer, I can tell, has put a lot of effort in, because I know, like, even looking up here, some developers have just put like a static image up here rather than actually making it, you know, like with 3D objects. This has actually got objects inside. It's not just a texture up here. So, I mean, this looks pretty good. This is very highly detailed. Probably rendered from an 8K model, I imagine. And that's why everything looks so detailed. I mean, look, even the tires look very detailed, you know? I mean, saying that, though, even the floor looks very detailed. But the plane itself is what we're looking at. Although, yeah, there are some areas here where it breaks down if you get really close. But overall, like, it's really very nicely detailed. You can see all the rivets in the plane that they actually stick out, like with a bump map effect. It's very nice. The sheen from the sun, the reflections, I mean, they're all built into the model. That's the one thing that I admire about the Microsoft Flight Sim, is its shaders. It's got very good realistic looking shaders, and, you know, metal does look like metal, chrome looks like chrome, wood looks like wood. Everything looks as if it should. I mean, mainly down to those shaders, but it's what makes it look so realistic in this world. Yep, we're being eyeballed here. So yeah, engine looks so good. I mean, look at the texturing here. Very nice. They've done a good job. I can tell that they actually care about the project. And I'll tell you why when we get in the cockpit. But for me, everything here looks really nice. Like the flaps, you know. Everything looks gorgeous, you know. Here, there's spinning up of a plane here. Oh, it's behind this one. Dude, you got your reversers out. Anyway, yeah. So this is the Super Constellation. So let me tell you a little bit of a history about the Connie project, as it were. The history of the L049. The Lockheed project was born out of an ambitious desire to create the first aircraft capable of comfortably carrying 20 passengers and 3,000 kilograms of cargo across the United States. All of this without a stopover, and economically interesting enough to widen the acceptance of air travel as an alternative to trains, boats, and automobiles. You know, this plane came out at a time when air travel was fairly new, and more on boat sort of version of the plane than landing on a land version of a plane. A truly revolutionary project for its time. Howard Hughes, in fact, the American billionaire head of TWA, presented the initial performance specifications, and Lockheed designed this elegant, distinctive, and now legendary aircraft. There was a military version that was used during the Berlin airlift between 1948 and 1949. And the L049 is was delivered to the TWA company in 1945 under the name of Constellation, and there will be several times modified through its history, become the L1049, the Super Constellation in 1951. And the difference between the Super is basically the addition of the nose extension. The windshield was redesigned to give the crew a better visibility, and the rudders are larger. There are other differences between the Super and just the regular one, but I mean, I'm not going to read them out. They're all in the actual manual that you get with this from Red Wing, and the manual is highly detailed. This is where you can tell they care about the project. There's so much, like, that gives you the history for the Constellation, all the varieties, you know, the L049, the 1049A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H version, which was a cargo version, which evidently is supposed to be coming in the future as an update. If you purchase this from SimMarket, the link is down below, you receive free updates as it moves forward. It's about 50 pounds now, I believe, but it's meant to increase in price the more that they develop and work on this. But if you buy it now, you're going to buy it for a cheaper cost, and still have access to all those updates in the future. Now, this aircraft could be configured in several different ways. You have your basic configuration where you can get 59 people on board. You have a high density configuration where you can get 82 to 99 passengers on board, or a siesta config where you can only get 42 passengers, basically all first class, you know what I mean? Obviously you have a crew that will help out, which varied from 4 to 7 people. Initially, you only have a basic to high density passenger config with the Breitling and the Air France liveries. The Siesta will be available on the Air France and TWA liveries in future updates, and a cargo will be available as an MATS livery, again, future updates. The dimensions of this beautiful plane, its overall length is 116 meters long. Its clearance under the fuselage is 7 meters, and its wingspan, sorry, that was feet, the dimensions of this beautiful plane, length overall is 35 meters or 116 feet. Its clearance under the fuselage is 2.13 meters. Its wingspan is a massive 125 feet. You know, in width, and its height over empennage is 24 feet. There are weight calculations in the manual for weight and fuel payload, so basically you can really configure accurately how much you should be pitch trimming according to your balance of weight. It does go into a lot of detail about the procedures for its performance for speed, the operation limits. In the documentation, it truly is almost like a tutorial, because it walks you through all the different panels. It shows you how to start up the engines. It shows you how to do this, how to do that. It's very, very highly detailed. Now, it is very bare as well in terms of what this plane can actually do. Right now it only has the basic startup elements built into the plane, but obviously they're still building the insides of this beauty. So don't think that this is all you're gonna get. It's far from finished, and as I say, they're still adding loads of stuff to it. So, but I mean, what they've done so far is pretty enjoyable, basically. Is it as detailed as, say, the PMDG DC-6? No, but it will be in the future. And at least now, you've got a bit of choice in the four, engined plane. Now you've got the Connie as well as the DC-6 if you want to fly a big traditional retro plane. It comes with this assistance sort of checklist manual thing as well, which is pretty cool, because you can add a co-pilot if you want. If you add a co-pilot, here you go, nip around now, and suddenly we've got a co-pilot sat here, and it's the same for the pilot as well. You can add a dude, sat here. You can even take away the seats if you wanted to. If you wanted to remove the seats, they would disappear. There is a human assistance section here, which I am guessing in the future is going to help you start up the plane and add an engineer to the back here, because obviously this is the engineers panel section here, and then you'd have another person sat just here. That would be the navigator's seat, and then you've got the two pilots sat here. So it looks like in the future they will be adding all this, and you can tell that they care, because they've actually said this is what we're gonna add. It's inoperable at the moment, but we will add it in the future. And to me, that sort of tells me that they actually do care about this project, because it's they didn't have to put this in. If it's not operable now, they don't have to put this in. And then you can close all your doors like this. And you can even remove services and park covers and chocks and all that. And then this tells you the status here. So oil, is in the engine tanks. And there is a mission orders section as well. I can only assume that, again, in the future, this will be some sort of career mode that's added. Just who knows? Who knows? Right. I'm going to ask... Oh, the camera. I'm going to ask now... tune into tower. Actually, no, tune into ground services. This thing is shaking as if the engines are actually running. I don't think the engines are actually running. Oh, they are. Right, so we've started the engines up. Everything is humming. Let's see if we can get a pushback.
Birmingham ground, November 6 9er tree 7 Charlie requesting pushback. Birmingham ground.
so we've got everything working. Everything control surfaces wise works. So basically what we need to do now is advance the throttles a little bit. Why suddenly we lost the throttles? Why are they shutting down on me? What? What's going on, Jack? Control E, mate. Come on. Get it going. It's bullshit, this is. Hey, let's get this thing ready to fly, mate. Come on. Let's go. How about we take the brake off, mate? There we go. Now we're cooking. Right, so we're going to set the flaps for takeoff, which aren't moving for some reason. Rip on that. Why are the flaps moving, mate? There you go, flaps set for takeoff. So, personally, I'm not, like, very knowledgeable on how to fly this plane, so, there is, like, on here, you can put it on, like, an easy or a normal mode. I've obviously got it on normal mode, and, like, another disclaimer is that the Microsoft control system for your hardware isn't as good as other simulators, and so it's very hard, I find, to bind exactly what I want with the type of hardware I have. Obviously the Microsoft Flight Simulator itself is still in like a beta. It's not actually finished, so it's still being worked on as well, so it's very hard to give a very good subjective review on this plane, because both the plane is in early access alpha and the sim is in, like, you know, beta itself. So obviously we do our best, you know. So yeah, going to the runway. Okay, so when you're not in the cockpit, you have no control over the cabin, over the plane. That's a bit of a rip, isn't it? So basically you have to stay in the cockpit. Again, that's because I haven't set things up in drone mode. Like, I mean, I don't know if you can in Microsoft control, you know, the plane in drone mode, but like, I'm finding it very hard to use this plane in this sim, just because I'm used to so much easier way of doing things. But yeah, like I said, the manual itself has a lot of help. You know, it's like a tutorial. Takeoff procedures, landing procedures, really in depth as well. I mean, this plane looks fantastic. I love the way that the instruments are shaking here. The needles are moving behind. Like, that is accurate to the real thing. These old birds were notorious for this sort of thing. You know, I don't know where any of my lights are. So Yeah, this flight isn't about accuracy of procedures and stuff. This is basically showing it in flight, showing it, you know, moving in flight, basically. So in a future video as well, because obviously we're in the Microsoft Flight Simulator, there is also a version of this plane in P3D as well, from A2A, and that's the next video that I'll be doing, is looking at the P3D version from A2A, but also going to compare both of these planes against the real thing in a future comparison video. Not against each other, because that really wouldn't be fair, because obviously, you know, this plane isn't even finished, so can't really compare planes that aren't finished. But I'm going to compare it against the real plane itself to see how accurate it is at the moment. Right, let's get on the runway. I'm hoping that my throttles are actually going to work. I mean, here we go. Full speed. For some reason I'm unable to bind my throttles properly, so I kind of have limited out functionality there. Here we go. Takeoff flap set. We're going. Speed 100. The takeoff speed is literally going to be like 140. I mean, this thing is not exactly going as fast as I would like it to go. Let's try and lift this sucker in the air. I don't hold that much hope. Trim up. There we go. Gear up.
37 Charlie, you were not cleared to take off.
Well, we're doing it anyway, mate. Right. This is very, very difficult to kind of steer. It's very slow and clunky.
37 Charlie, you were not cleared to take off.
Bite me. Right, flaps up. Get some speed up. It sort of wants to turn to the left, like automatically. Oh, shit. We're going down. Crash. Bye. Well, there we go. I mean, to be honest, the control system I find very hard to do. Obviously, we crashed it, but like this plane, if you know, the hardware was bound correctly, I'm sure it would be a lot easier to fly. But I mean, at the moment, it is a enjoyable plane if you're able to get it right, you know, done right. But unfortunately, on this one, it was a bit of a burn. So anyway, this is available from SimMarket. It's a really low price at the moment because it's still in early access, or early alpha access. But when it's officially released, it's going to be a lot more pricey. So if this is a plane that you really feel like you want to fly in Microsoft, my advice would be to buy it now. Even if you don't fly it because you want it to be more complete, buy it now and have it at the cheaper price. Get the free updates in the future, and then enjoy it when it's full. But in the manual, there's like a little Wikipedia that teaches you about the different instruments and how to fly it, and like how to properly take advantage of this plane. And I'd really advise you reading that manual thoroughly first. This is a bit of a learning curve, this plane. This isn't like you you know, oh, I'll learn this in a day. No, this is going to take you weeks to master. Like, this is my first attempt to fly it without properly reading the manual. So I got the engine started automatically and obviously couldn't take it to the air. So for me, they've put a lot of effort into this. A lot of work has gone in. And obviously, like, for me to fully enjoy this, I need to read the manual step by step. I need to learn how to properly fly this plane. But for now, that's basically it. I'm going to say thank you for watching, and check out my P3D version of this review for this plane from Red Wing. The P3D version is from A2A, and that'll be available next week to watch. But until then, again, thank you for watching, and don't forget, if you're a subscriber to my channel and you've commented down below, you are in with a chance to win 50 pounds, euros, dollars, whatever it is in your currency, worth of SimMarket vouchers, where you could literally go and buy this, or buy any flight sim add-on for any flight sim. But thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you again.